Other than the money that they're making, pro athletes that retire and veterans that retire or separate have a lot in common. In this video, I'm going to talk about those similarities and why it makes it so difficult to become a civilian again or a mere mortal. Let's talk about the money first. So I recognize that pro athletes in general make way more money than people in uniform. However, one thing that is similar is all of the protections and all of the amenities around you. This happens if you're a pro athlete or if you're in uniform. Well, what do you mean by that, Doc? Well, when you're in uniform, there's a schedule. There's somebody telling you what to eat, when to work out, when to show up to meetings and to work. When you're wearing the jersey, it's real similar. Got a routine, got a schedule. And that's actually what makes it very difficult for a lot of veterans, is once they transition to the civilian world, especially if they decide to retire, they're making the schedule for themselves, and maybe for the first time in their life. Let's talk about another similarity: age. Most pro athletes retire young or don't retire at all. I think the average retirement rate for somebody that plays pro football is about 27. That's a retirement age, 27. That's pretty young. Most people that play pro sports never actually get to retirement. Similar to veterans, most people that serve don't do 20, 30 years. Most people do one enlistment, one contract, and get out. And that means they are transitioning to a different type of lifestyle, career, very young. Although people that retire or separate from playing pro ball or the military are young, I'll tell you what's not young: their bodies. My wife ran track in college, and what we often joke about, even at our seemingly young age, is how many miles we got on our bodies, how our joints ache like we're 60 years old. If you're a veteran or if you're a former athlete, you know exactly what I'm saying. If you're enjoying this content, go ahead and give this video a like. Or if you want to learn more about PTSD and mental health, consider subscribing to my channel. Where I grew up in Georgia, we used to say we make more pro athletes than we do doctors and lawyers. One of the hardest things to deal with when you're transitioning to civilian life, whether you're a pro athlete or a veteran, is the identity that you've had for a long time. For an athlete or for a veteran, what you did while you were serving or while you were playing on the field was more than a game to you. It was more than a job to you. It was who you were to a certain degree. And whether you transition off the field or you transition out of the military, one thing that can be difficult is reshaping that identity. A struggle for a lot of athletes and a lot of veterans is not knowing who they are anymore. Well, who am I if I'm not running and gunning? Who am I if I'm not throwing or catching a ball? And you had to find that out. Who are you if you're not doing those things? And for individuals that have been doing those things for a long time, have worked really hard to be good at what they're doing, that's a hard ask. Sometimes what we're really good at, sometimes what we're really skilled at, doesn't necessarily transition easily over to other careers. If you're really good at kicking the ball, if you're really good at throwing the ball, dunking the ball, there's only so many jobs out there that you can do. You're coaching. You are maybe a personal trainer. Hard for veterans in certain fields. It can be very similar. There's not a whole lot of jobs out there where you're chasing down bad guys. There's some. But maybe you don't even want to do that anymore. So finding out what you want to do, what you like to do, dare I say, is going to be different. And for many people, it's not going to just be different. It's going to be brand new. If this video was helpful for you, please like it or consider subscribing to my channel if you want to learn more about mental health. But more important than that, if this video was helpful for you, then that means it can probably be helpful for another veteran. So I ask that you share it with them. Because at the end of the day, that's really what all of this is about. One veteran trying to help another.